The PBA is back on CBS Sports Network, and it's live. And so is this guy, Norm Duke, the Hall of Famer and 40-time Tour titleist, looks for more greatness this weekend here in Jupiter, Florida. It is time, bowling fans, for live coverage of the 2020 PBA Tour Finals. Today from Bolero in Jupiter, Florida, we start 9 hours of live coverage over 2 days on CBS Sports Network. When the dust settles, we will crown a PBA Tour champion. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Bolero in Jupiter, Florida. This is Dave Ryan. It's great to have you with us. Live coverage of the PBA Tour is back here on CBS Sports Network. I'll be joined by my Hall of Fame broadcast partner, Randy Peterson, in a moment. Bowling fans, this is for you. Over the next 2 days, 5 separate live broadcasts, 9 hours total like we talked about. In the end, only one bowler of the 8 great bowlers we'll see here today will be PBA Tour Finals champion. Group 1, the young star Anthony Simonson, future Hall of Famer Sean Rash. Another young star, the lefty Jacob Buttriff, and Norm Duke, who has won 7 majors. We'll see Group 1 in our first show today. Group 2, Tackett, who won this event last year, 2 times the PBA Tour Finals. Winner Bill O'Neill, a major champion this year, as was Chris Prather, and the always colorful, always charismatic Kyle Troop. Randy and I are social distancing, so we're being safe here in the midst of COVID-19. Randy, it's great to be back with you, buddy, as always, for live coverage here on CBS Sports Network, our once-a-year appearance. We only have 8 great bowlers here. Wish we could have 9. Jason Belmonte cannot be here. He is number 1 on the PBA Tour points list over the last 2 years. That's the qualification to make the top 8 to get here. Bello can't travel from Australia due to safety reasons, but Norm Duke is here. We've got qualifying and great bowling ahead, right?
I mean, you're right, Dave, but what a great consolation prize when Belmonte can't be here, so you get the legend Norm Duke. It's a great event. 8 of the best in the world going at it in this unique format, Dave. Lots of bowling, like you mentioned, and today's 4 superstars are going to be bowling 4 games each to get seeded into tomorrow's step-ladder finals, and that'll go on later today as well. Our bowlers today, Jacob Buttriff, the lone southpaw on today's telecast, joined by Sean Rash, Anthony Simonson, and the legend Norm Duke. It's 16 games of nonstop action for you folks at home today.
All right, Randy, let's break down the lane conditions today that Norm Duke and the 7 other great bowlers will be facing.
Marshall Holman, oil pattern 37 feet in length, and let me tell you folks, the middle part of the lane is really dry. It's going to hook. So there's really 2 ways to attack this oil pattern. The players can move in with strong equipment and really send it to the outside part of the lane, or use urethane and go much straighter up the extreme outside. I think if Marshall Holman was bowling on this pattern, you know he'd be in and hooking it.
Our first bowler, Jacob Buttriff, is ready to go here. Randy, this is going to be fun. We've got a lot of bowling ahead for our great PBA fans who can't wait for today.
The lone lefty in this event may prove to be a big advantage. You never know. He's the only player on that side. In 2019, he finished 2nd in earnings and average. He also won his first major.
Such a great young star. From Vegas, saw that cool tattoo that he has on his leg yesterday. He's gotten some new ink.
Yeah,
honoring his hometown, pretty neat.
I'm gonna get the address to his artist.
Underway here from Jupiter. Not the start, of course, Jacob wanted. Here's Sean Rash, a new dad. Out of suburban Chicago. Good start to his day. Little daughter, only 3 weeks old. Congrats to he and the family in Montgomery, Illinois. Anthony Simonson steps up.
We've seen some interesting tricks up Simonson's bag as of late. He's added a little something to his arsenal.
Got 7 on his first shot.
Yeah, it's a tough lead. I like Norm Duke on this shorter pattern. I'll tell you why. He likes to go straight, and I think straighter is greater on this pattern.
Here's Normie, the legend. Right at it.
Great shot.
Pocket, all 10 back. Norm telling us yesterday, Randy, how excited he is to have this opportunity. A lot of bowling ahead. He's pumped up.
We're lucky to have him. That was a pretty good conversion there by Simonson. The 3-6-9, not easy.
Oh, don't go in. Okay.
You did.
Wow.
Hangs on there, just outside the channel, Sean. You're all right.
Don't go in. He needed the bumper to help that and get back, and it did.
PBA Summer Class champ here in Jupiter last month, Sean Rash. A pin for Jacob Buttriff. Anthony Simonson, originally from Texas, he's moved to Vegas recently, working on a brand new bowling center in downtown Las Vegas. First time he's really been on the business end of it.
There you go.
So he hasn't practiced as much, but this is Anthony Simonson we're talking about.
Yeah, he's not a big practice guy. Jacob going with urethane on this shorter pattern makes sense. Hey, did you mention after 2 games what's going to happen?
Go ahead. Not yet.
We're going to change the oil pattern.
Which we didn't do last year.
Right. We're going to go to a much longer 46-foot Johnny Petraglia pattern after 2 games on the short Marshall Holman pattern. I just love saying Marshall Holman and Johnny Petraglia.
Oh, legends. Absolute legends. Norby's right on.
Yeah.
Really good start.
Yeah. He can keep his hand up the back of the ball and just kind of roll it end over end, kind of tumble it, and that ball just kind of checks right into the 1-3.
Norby overcoming the quad injury. Talked to him about that last night in our interviews at length. Went all the way back to Hall of Fame Classic. The lid lifter on the season in Arlington, Texas. Fall 10 back.
First strike of the game. Remember, 4-game total pinfall will determine the seeding for tomorrow's stepladder finals for both Group 1 and Group 2. And we'll see Group 2 later this afternoon.
All wraps up Sunday with the PBA Tour champion crown here in Jupiter. Sean Rash is battling some back issues. He's not 100%. Said about 70%. We talked to him yesterday. That's a high shot there from Normie. And the 3-6-10 up. All the players, Simo included, so happy to be back on the lanes on live TV, competing again.
Oh. You know, I can't remember a time where you and I ever covered the PBA Tour. As Normie chops the 3-6 off the 10, where we actually covered 16 games in one telecast. You?
Not that many. Well, bowling fans have been asking on social media, Randy, for more live coverage. We've got it for them. Nothing like it.
Lots and lots of action, Dave. We've got the legend, Norm Duke. We've got the two-handed specialist, Simonson, the lefty, Jacob Buttriff, and Sean Rash. Lots more coming your way.
The 2020 PBA Tour Finals on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com.
Back in Jupiter, live coverage of the PBA Tour Finals continues here on CBS Sports Network. Jacob Buttriff, Rash Duke Simonson, 4 games of qualifying. Our first of 5 live broadcasts, 9 hours of coverage here on CBS Sports Network coming your way. Simo was bowled so well, and Buttriff Rash looking good.
Hey, Sean, what makes this oil pattern so difficult?
I think the toughest thing about this oil pattern right now, Randy, is that we actually didn't get a whole lot of shots to break the lane down the way we wanted to. It's also the lane 9 and lane 10 are completely different in this building. For me personally, I think the other guys would say the same thing, where 9's a lot tighter on the gutter. You can kind of throw it away more on 10, so you have more wiggle room. But right now, it's, first game, a lot of bowling left for this first group. It's just trying to stay patient. We're all trying to get our feet under us and make great shots.
Thanks, Sean. Good luck. He's the only player that's perfect through 4 frames, Dave. Sean hasn't missed yet. And
great access, too, by the way, Randy. Great to have him on.
Yeah,
awesome.
If you talk to Sean or the other players, they all agree that they feel the right lane is a little bit better than the left lane.
Oh.
A little more wiggle room on that right lane.
I guess his back's okay. We saw him at the hotel this morning, and he still said it didn't feel great. Lots of stretching, physical therapy, trying to get himself in shape for this event today, and he's off to a great start.
Another great shot. It's no wonder he has some back issues with a swing that high, and it takes a toll on your body.
Back to normal. That goes high and leaves the 610.
Five back-to-back shots for Duke on that left lane.
Simonson. Last all 10 back. Last time in this building, we saw the backup ball. Simon was pretty amazing during the strike derby.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
He's got a few tools. Now Rash moves over to the left lane, perfect through 5. And again, I think the trick is to really try and capture this left lane. The left lane's the trickier of the two, and if you can master the left lane, it really frees your swing up knowing you've got a little room to the right on that right lane.
Rash is locked in and looking good. We don't have fans here at Valero in Jupiter, Florida, due to safety reasons with COVID-19. Safety first on the PBA Tour and CBS Sports Network. And talking with the bowlers about that, yeah, they miss the response of the crowd, being able to play off what happens with a live audience. But I think, Randy, they're so happy to be here, so are we, to cover live bowling that they're going to look past that for sure.
I agree.
And all of our bowling fans are safe out there watching us today.
You can see the difference in the way these players attack this oil pattern, how straight Sean Rash and Norm Duke are going versus what Simonson's doing. Oh, good shot, Normie.
Normie looked just fine, overcoming injuries. Same for Sean Rash. We're off to a great start here in Jupiter, Florida. PBA Tour Finals underway. It's qualifying time. 8 great bowlers showcased throughout today and tonight. Welcome back. PBA Tour Finals roll on. Live coverage here on CBS Sports Network. Norm Duke having some fun back there, Randy. Sean off to a great start until...
Yeah, he got it wide right and missed the headpin, but he converted the washout nicely. Wow. Hey, but don't look now, my friend, but after that shaky start for Jacob Buttriff, he strung 5 in a row.
8th frame for Sean Rash. All 10 back. Perfect in that 1-3 pocket as he crunches them into the pit.
Sean Rash, max score 277. Jacob Buttriff, 40-72, 269. Is it another one for Jake?
Lefty. That really had to hurry up.
Jacob,
boy.
come on.
Yeah, 2, 4, and 7 and 8. It's going to be a tough attempt at converting that because of that back pin, the 8 pin. Simonson going at a 2:05 pace, but can strike out for 2:35.
That's how you get it started there, Anthony.
And Norm Duke is at a 2:03 pace, can strike out for 2:43. 51, yep, 2:43.
4-7 up there for Buttriff. So the Open hurts his number. Game 1 of 4 for each in qualifying here in Group 1. The second live broadcast here from Jupiter will be Group 2, 4 games of qualifying each.
Tell you what, that frame right there in the 8th for Buttriff, that may come back to haunt him. Now his max score is only 231. Great shot there by Duke. Yeah, this is certainly no sprint. This is going to be a marathon, and the lanes are going to get re-oiled after game 2 to a completely different oil pattern. That could be a game changer.
Ninth frame for Buttriff here. On the left lane. All 10 back.
Yeah, he'd like that 8th frame over.
Sean Rash will try again. Got distracted.
Nobody in here. I'd be all
Well,
right.
I heard it from here.
Did you?
Some kind of squeaking noise that caught him.
Something to his right distracted him.
Yeah, I heard it from here. And folks, just in case you're wondering, no, it wasn't me.
John's good.
Yeah.
And ready. And just fine.
It's much better.
He wants to make sure it doesn't happen again.
He's
What's going on over there?
He's like, well, there's no fans here. I mean, what would make that sound? And
back to Norm, left lane. Perfect.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, baby.
yeah, and he knows that's a big shot because that sets up the 10th frame and gives him an opportunity to get into the 240s. They realized what that squeaking noise was. They finally figured out what it was.
What was it?
Your wallet.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go. First good dig from Randy to Rhino. First of many, probably, throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
As Simon said, looks good on the right lane.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of that for you this this weekend, just so you know.
15 years on tour for Sean Rash. And 15 titles. He's had a great career.
Future Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Perfect shot there in the 1-3 pocket.
Yeah, another good one. And, you know, Sean making a tough pattern look pretty easy right now. But you could see just how quickly he can get away from you when you get a little wild and miss in the wrong direction, and it could be an open frame real quick. Jacob staying with the urethane ball on both lanes, and, you know, he's been known to throw that purple hammer a lot, and that's pretty much his MO. But, you know, yesterday when I watched him practice on the long pattern, he was using reactive resin.
Perfect for Rash. I love the format, Randy, with the 2 oil patterns and dual patterns, by the way, in the step ladder.
Dual patterns, right. Short pattern on the right
For
lane.
Group 1 and Group 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, short pattern on the right and long pattern on the left, starting tomorrow. Sean Rash, if he keeps it on the lane, he's going to be in the 270s. Jacob Buttriff with a strike will shoot 211. Duke can max out at 243. Simonson can max out at 235. Did the right thing, missed a little bit to the inside, and as he pretends he's waving to the
Acknowledges the few folks here.
the imaginary crowd,
Yeah, PBA Tour officials, of course. Safety first. So no crowd here today, unfortunately. in Jupiter, Florida. But the great bowlers are here, and so are we.
So, game one goes to Sean Rash, Buttriff, 66 back of the leader. All pins carry over. Remember, 4-game total pin count. Shot there by Simo. Wow. He's really bringing it. Uh-oh, that's left the target. Yeah, big time. Spare strike, Duke will shoot 222. Still alive. Obviously, with 3 games to go, anything can happen.
Long way to go.
I mean, I don't see Sean Rash being able to average 270 for the 4 games. Although, I mean, it could happen.
This is a positioning day for the stepladder finals for Group 1 and Group 2 coming up tomorrow here in Jupiter. So all the bowlers will be back for at least one more show tomorrow. As they told us last night, they love the format. Everything on TV. It's rare. Did it last year in Vegas for the first time in the PBA Tour. Have all the qualifying, the entire tournament on live national TV, and repeating a feat here this year in Jupiter. Pretty cool.
That man right there and E.J. Tackett, the only 2 that have made it to this event all 4 years. All right, Simonson, 234, and now Norm Duke with a strike. He'll be at 222, and they're all looking up at the leader, Sean Rash.
Leaves a 7-pin, 221 for Norm Duke. So it's Rash, Simonson, Duke, and Buttriff in order through the first of 4 games. It's qualifying. The 2020 PBA Tour Finals here on CBS Sports Network. More live coverage on the way. Game 1 is complete. Sean Rash has a lead through the first of 4 qualifying games here. The PBA Tour Finals live coverage on CBS Sports Network in Jupiter, Florida. Simonson, Norm Duke, and Buttriff Group 1. Fabulous group of superstar bowlers here today in Florida. Tomorrow noon Eastern, the action on the lanes continues. The best bowlers battle to see who will take this year's PBA Tour Finals title. Don't miss the 2020 PBA Tour Finals continuing live coverage here on CBS Sports Network.
Sean Rash leading after game 1 with that big 277. Outstanding 2019 campaign with almost $200,000 in earnings for Rash. In 2020, he picked up right where he left off, winning the Oklahoma Open, climbing the ladder, and closing with an impressive 289 in the title match. And speaking of Sean Rash, let's talk to him. Sean, great opening game. How did you get it done?
Honestly, I threw urethane, so for all those people that said that I hate it, I'm starting to like it. I just stayed far.
Wait, what? You threw urethane?
Shh. Secret.
It's too late.
I
It's too
stayed
late
farther
now.
right than everybody.
knows.
Threw some really good shots. I got away from my focus in the 7th frame and threw it out the window on the right lane, which is my good lane. Made the spare, thankfully, and then just dug in. Bowling 3 other guys that are more than likely all going to be in the Hall of Fame. One's already there, had been there since we were all 5 years old. Having fun, like I said earlier, we're going to have fun for these first couple games. Things will get a little more intense, game 3, 4 after the re-oil. But right now, it's just try to stay focused, stay upright, and not do anything stupid.
All right, Sean, thanks for your time. Good luck. And Dave, just for the folks at home that are wondering why we're not hearing from the other 3 players, they are not mic'd.
It was optional.
It's optional.
Thanks to Sean for doing
their
it.
choice, and absolutely.
This is not just a special event, which are great to broadcast.
Yeah.
Well, this is a PBA Tour event. So some of the players want to remain more focused and not interact with Randy. Understandable.
What does that mean?
They want to be focused. Everyone loves to interact with you off here. They're actually competing right now, man. I mean, you got to stay locked in. I get it.
Dave, nobody believes you.
Apparently, the back is just fine for Rash. You saw him stretching in the commercial break, though, trying to keep it loose. As Buttriff gets the job done in the right lane. Sean and wife Sarah. welcoming in Elena Ray
Fair.
on June 29th. Third daughter. And he was picking the baby up recently at home. Something happened with the back, little nerve issue. That's why he's been out about that. Norm Duke flirts with the channel.
Obviously, that 4-pin doesn't know who that man is.
Back to Simonson. On the left lane. Oh, yeah. 10 back. Perfect shot for Anthony Simonson. We talked about his business venture in Vegas. He's learning everything he possibly can about the business end of running a bowling center.
3 more games.
So, trying to stay focused to your game 2 of qualifying. I think Simonson's pretty into it, Randy. What do you think?
Yeah, he really is. You know, I think one of the things that really impressed me was him saying, you know, when something breaks down, I don't want somebody to come over and fix it. I want them to show me how to fix it.
So I can do it. Yeah, exactly.
You know, Dave,
we talked about Sean Rash trying to keep that back loose. Yeah. Not easy, right? You battle injuries, Randy. You know it's tough out there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, you had mentioned this, and you can see Sean just trying to stay loose in between games, and he's making some nice shots. Now, you can see that ball pushing a little bit longer down the lane, and that's what happens with urethane. So the urethane bowling ball that he referenced in that quick interview, it dries up the front part of the lane, drags oil down towards the pins.
The yellow number you see, the scoreboard bottom of your screen there, was the first game score. So Rash 277, the best opening qualifying game score. Anthony Simonson number 2 at 234. And when this game is over, we'll have that updated so you see the total pinfall of the bowlers. It's all about pinfall today through 4 games of qualifying.
That's not bad, Norm.
For seeding. For qualifying for tomorrow's stepladder group finals.
Hey, Dave, you know what Geppetto and Anthony Simonson have in common?
What's that, Randy?
They both can carve wood.
Anytime I'm with Randy, anything can happen. I've learned that over the years, buddy. 7-pin for Sean Rash.
Ooh. That wasn't very friendly.
I know, man. Like,
Summer Clash winner, Oklahoma Open winner in Shawnee. You and I called. It's been a good year for Sean. Not a great shot there for Buttrick.
Again, another player using urethane that makes the lanes transition quicker than any other bowling ball made. Front part of the lane gets dry, the back part of the lane gets slick, and that's exactly the opposite of what you want an oil pattern to be like.
oh, God.
Oh, Sean. Ooh.
That one hurt.
Well, we've seen him miss a couple of spares on television before, and you know, after that great start, I'm wondering if Sean just gets a little lax, maybe a little lackadaisical. Good try there.
Did it hurt literally or figuratively?
Yeah, right? Great question.
Jacob.
This guy here is the guy that you really have to be, you really have to have an eye on.
Baby.
Tremendous young talent.
If you think about how he's playing this oil pattern and the angle he's using through the front part of the lane, Dave, think about the margin for error, right? So an inch right of that, it's 0. And if he gets it a board or two to the left of that, it's going to go through the nose. Norm Duke, Simonson, Buttrick, all chasing that man right there, Sean Rash. Game 2, halfway through, lots more coming your way.
While we were gone, Sean Rash. That'll be 277 in game 1 to take the lead in the first of 4 games of qualifying. This shot, Randy.
Yeah. Well, that was the big 4 that was no more. That was a huge break for Sean, coming off of that whipped 7-pin in the third. So Let's see if he can get back on the strike train and double up, take advantage of that great break. That needs to hook.
No.
Yep. Fast and a little right.
Trying to make a strike. 210.
210. Back to Buttra.
I mean, this is turning into a train wreck after a pretty nice opening game for most of the players. I mean, all of a sudden, the carry down, the transition, lane's getting tight down lane. 210 for Rash, the 379 for Buttra. I mean, that's why I said, you know, watch out for this Simonson guy. But let's not forget the legend either. Rash and Buttra struggling, having all kinds of trouble right now with the transition. The lane's changing, the oil's moving around. Simonson's still pretty well dialed in. Starting with the front four here in game 2.
After 234, second best qualifying score in game 1.
And as soon as I say that, through the face.
It's the Peterson jinx.
Through the face for the 36910.
Right through the nose. All right. Let's see how he regroups. Back to Normie. Looked just fine.
Yeah, great shot. Duke's just trying to figure out a way to bust a nice game here and then wait for that longer oil. Tough spare. And
Can't cover it.
Oh,
9 stands.
That's why that
Simonson.
That's why that back pin, the 9 pin.
I need some more frames like that one there, if that's okay with y'all.
In frame 5, 3 of the 4 players open. Duke, the only one to mark. It's getting real interesting now. Sean Rash is going at a 176 pace. That's 100 less than the last game.
Wow. Things are changing. Second of 2 games on this pattern. And we are going to change patterns. Re-oil. So big adjustments with strategy and ball selection on the fresh for these bowlers in games 3 and 4 of qualifying. It's interesting here in Jupiter. Big shift. Ball player of the year, Sean Rash. All 10 back, perfect shot.
Big shot here.
For the 38-year pro, Norm Duke, 56 years old.
30,
Florida native.
38-year pro.
Can you believe that?
Well, then that means that the other 3 guys that are bowling right now are younger than he's been on tour.
By a lot, in some cases. Simonson's 23. If you were to compare Simonson and Duke, Randy, in terms of their career trajectory, a lot of success early.
Yeah.
And then for Normie, obviously Hall of Fame greatness. Is Simo on that track?
Without question. You know, the only unknown with Simonson is if he stays healthy. He's amazingly talented and very mature beyond his years. I mean, the kid's a phenom. You talk to Jason Belmonte about him, and Jason Belmonte says he's the guy that's going to carry the torch once Belmo retires. I mean, he's like the heir apparent.
If Belmo's watching, by the way, in Australia, we miss you.
Yeah, man.
Wish you were here, Jason, but safety first. Hope you and your family are doing just fine in Australia. Anthony Simonson is here and responding. He is bowling very well here in Game 2 after 234 in his first game.
You know, Dave, Simonson finished second at this year's U.S. Open. He finished third at the Tournament of Champions, and he finished second in the World Championship. That's pretty strong.
Fantastic season.
Wants it? Oh, come on.
God damn it. What are you doing?
Okay, so he didn't like the execution, but this is a horrible break. Talk about his workout regimen, Norms?
We haven't talked about it yet. Something he's really into. It's every day he's doing something. We talked about not working out for bulk, but
just stamina, keeping his body strong.
He looks great, by the way.
Yeah, he's always been in pretty good shape. Of course, it helps when you have the metabolism of a hummingbird.
All right.
Guy could eat out of a dumpster and not gain a pound.
Hopefully that would never happen. He talked a lot about that yesterday, not the dumpster, but working out and competing with the young guys and just loving being out here. Has to really hurry off the channel. Just enough to get 9 for Sean Rash. Sean thought he should have won the Strike Derby as well, won the Summer Clash. Rolled well in both respective events here last month. And has 5 titles on the PBA 50 Tour. 7 majors. 15 wins for this guy. Hoping to make it 16 this weekend here in Jupiter, Florida. Yeah, and you can tell Sean's in pain.
It's starting to look like that man right there is going to be your leader after 2 games.
You predicted it, Randy. Now the right look. Right approach to the pocket. As the lanes transition here.
You heard Anthony say, good shot. Very subtle, good shot. Yeah, that was a really good shot. So was that. But right now, max score for Sean Rash this game is I can't see your hands in the way, thanks. 205. Oh, thanks, Cecil, our statistician. 205 max score for Sean Rash. Simonson can shoot 264. And now Buttroff, 140, maybe 212 if he covers the 7-pin and strikes out. Norm Duke can shoot 248. After 2 games, it's going to be Simonson and Duke probably. Wow.
Across the deck. Down goes the 10-pin. He'll take it.
That was just pure filth.
Buttroff have his 7-pin and the spare.
Oh, God, good shot.
It's all about total pinfall today here in Jupiter, Florida. 4 games of qualifying. You see the yellow number after the bowler's name bottom of your screen. That was their first game score, and that will reflect the total pinfall after game 2. 221 for Norman's first game. And a really good shot, but a 10-pin stands on that.
Well, that lane has not been kind to him, Dave. He left that 7-pin where the pin jumped over the top of it the frame before the 7th, and now that ring in 10. This is going to be all Simonson after 2 games, and they're going to be looking up at him. Even though Rash started with that 277, he's really struggled here in game 2. I think the hard part to get people to understand or realize is just how difficult it is. They say, well, he shot 270 the first game. How do you come back and not shoot 200 the next? And it's just showing you how difficult this pattern can play. And then with the oil changing and moving around, a couple of errant shots, and all of a sudden it goes from 270 to 180.
A new oil pattern to come for the last 2 games of Group 1 qualifying.
Max score Buttriff now 201. That'll give him a 2-game total of 412. Simonson strike out 260. He'll be in the 500s. Well, it'll be 2 shy of 500 at 498.
Sean wants a good finish to the second game.
Oh, go long.
Well, remember, folks, that after this game, we're going to clean the lanes and apply a completely different oil pattern. And you're going to see for yourself just how much different the players are going to play the next oil pattern. They're going to be much deeper to the inside part of the lane. And it's 46 feet and labeled the Johnny Petraglia pattern after the great JP.
Whoa.
Big change, 37 to 46 feet in games 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I can't wait to see how the bowlers respond to that, how they handle the altering conditions here. 10th frame, Norm Duke. Perfect shot after 221 in his first game. Two titles for Norm in 2019. Extraordinary storyline to that season. Injury sidelining him for basically the entire 2020 season before the pandemic.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Norman's back now, bowling well. So is this guy.
Now, I think Norm's score is incorrect. I don't think that's 179 if he strikes again. I think we have him at 228 if he strikes on his fill shot. Simonson, first ball strike in the 10th. This gets him into the 260s. Yes, sir. Simonson's going to be in the high 490s. Sean Rash is at 471. And with a strike here, Duke is going to be at 449 with 2 games left to determine the top seed in tomorrow's Step Ladder Finals for this group. So we have 227 for Norm. Yeah, that total there is wrong. It's 227. And Simonson finishes big, 264 finish. That puts Simonson at 498.
Nice game. 9 shots, 10 shots, 11 shots. All but one.
Randy predicted it as Simonson takes over. Game 2, 264 to take the lead. It's about total pinfall here today in Jupiter, Florida. Sean Rash had the great start, struggled in Game 2. All the stars are out of the PBA Tour today. Live coverage continues of qualifying here on CBS Sports Network. Great bowling Game 2. Anthony Simonson takes the lead, 498 his total pinfall for 2 games. Sean Rash, 471. The great Norm Duke. The legend, 448 and 412 for Jacob Buttriff. After a 201 second game score for the lone lefty in our field here today. Get up and start your day with Boomer and Gio as they break down the latest updates in sports that are sure to fuel your day. Weekday mornings at 6 right here on CBS Sports Network. For this Go Bowling with Randy segment, we're going to take a question for Randy from PBA social media. Joanne Manning, Randy, asks, what exercises can we do to stay in bowling shape during the pandemic?
Well, there's a lot of things you can do at home, Dave. I think the most important thing to do is to make sure you keep your lower half in shape. You got to have your legs as strong as possible. Get some resistance bands. Start doing a lot of squats, a lot of deep knee bends, a lot of lunges. That kind of stuff is really good for your quads. You want to make sure your quads are nice and strong. Then I would work on my core. You know, the core is kind of the centerpiece of any sport that we play. It's so vital and so very important. And then finally for me, I mean, I like, when I'm not working elbows and ankles, I like to do chest and biceps.
Always, Randy. Always jacked up. Thank you, Joanne, for that great question. More of that to come with Randy. Here in Jupiter, Florida, Game 3, Group 1 is on the way. Two games complete. PBA Tour Finals, Group 1 qualifying. New oil, Randy, for our four great bowlers.
46 feet in length, the Johnny Petraglia pattern. Players are going to play more towards the middle part of the lane, excuse me. Look for him to get in and just kind of feed it from about third arrow out to about the 7-8 board. Watch for Jacob Buttriff, though. It's going to be interesting to see if he uses urethane like we watched him do yesterday. And there he is, Anthony Simonson. And let's take a look at some of his highlights. At age 23, Simonson already has Hall of Fame credentials. His two-handed delivery is unique, and he's added a new wrinkle, Dave. That's right, you said it earlier, the backup ball.
He became the lone lefty during the strike tour. It was just absolutely phenomenal to watch him do that. And he almost won it. All with a backup ball, which is equivalent to trying to win a home run hitting contest. You're a left-handed batter doing it right-handed.
Yeah,
I mean, incredible. So new oil and Game 3 underway. Norm Duke had a great interview with Norm last night. He said, look, I know Jason Belmonte should be here as the top point getter over the last 2 years in the PBA Tour, but he can't be here. So I am, and I'm not going to waste this chance. He is such a competitor. Look at that. Goes back to 1993, his first career title. And he's still going strong. 10-pin there for Norm. I love the attitude, though, Randy's got.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. You know, it's you don't lose that mentality ever. It never goes away. And he's third winningest player in the history of our sport.
I'm excited to be able to call Norm in action again. It's been a while. Sean Rash. We saw him really hurting a little bit with that back at the end of his second game. He's so good in Game 1, 277.
Oh, shoot this one.
But sub 200 in the second. Still the number 2 position. Norm Duke has got his 10-pin, has got his mark. Underway in Game 3.
So there's a rundown of the scores after 2 games. Rash is trailing Simonson's 498 by 27 pins. Duke is 50 back. Buttriff 86 pins back.
Oh, I made that one, I think.
Whenever you see next to Sean and Jacob's names, that's the total pinfall for 2 games. We'll continue to add that up as we get through our 4 games each of qualifying here. Group 1. Group 2 still to follow. Live coverage next on CBS Sports Network. We'll be all day on the PBA Tour. It's back.
And there's a first look at Jacob Buttriff using reactive resin, and I spoke to him earlier before the telecast, and I said, I noticed you're using the reactive balls a little bit more. And I said, what did you work on? He said, well, Randy, I worked on trying to make those balls work better for me. And I said, how did you do that? And he says, by keeping my hand straight up the back of the bowling ball.
It's a good breakdown. Norm's knocking him down, isn't he?
Yeah. It's a good start for Norm. 10-pin and then strike there in the second. All chasing this man right here. Remember, the leader after 4 games will be your number 1 seed for this group in the stepladder finals tomorrow.
234 in the first game, 264 in the second for Simonson to bolt into the lead. Back to Buttriff. The young lefty.
Yeah, that's a little scary wrinkle to his game now, if you will, in adding that. And, you know, his rev rate is so high, Dave, that if his hand spins around the side of the ball a little too much, that ball's going to break loose and go quickly. And that's part of the reason why he doesn't throw reactive resin a lot. But he's actually learned this new trick by keeping his hand more underneath the bowling ball.
Third frame Simonson in game 3. Looking good. Yesterday hasn't really been the same since that quad injury. Believes it was a quad tear. Went right home to Claremont outside Orlando and rested for 2 weeks when he was hurt in Texas in the season opener in Arlington, and it really didn't get better. Such a field sport. You've got to have the physical and mental all together at the same time. Especially when you get in your 50s. I mean, it's not easy for guys like Simonson at 23 keep it all together. Equipment
If you're ready.
adjustment there for Norm. So Rash steps up.
Kick, save, and a beauty on the 10.
Norm's back. Gun ready.
You heard him say, carry, he got the love tap from the 6 into the 10. I wonder what the heck Norm was running around fishing for. Was it tape? Yeah,
Looked like.
It may have been tape. He likes to fiddle with that thumb hole a lot. We've seen him over the years ask for an extra minute or so to retape.
Just a few times, right? The man's a technician. He's an adjuster. And it's got to be perfect for a guy like Norm Duke. An artist on the
with reactive on TV.
Simonson. They're all
Go ahead,
chasing him. A lot of strikes being thrown here on this new Johnny Petraglia pattern.
You got to love it.
Dave Ryan, let's take a look at a comparison between the two oil patterns. Remember, they started on the short. Here's Simonson, how he played the shorter 37-foot pattern. Look at him wheeling it all the way to the outside part of the lane. Now, the new 46-foot pattern. Huge difference. Different bowling ball, different line, different plan of attack. Same for Norm Duke. Here he is on the shorter pattern, playing in between first and second arrow, out to about the 4 board. And here's Norm on the longer pattern, in between third and fourth arrow. Love tap on the 10 pin right there. Got to be able to play all parts of the lane, all angles, speeds, different releases. You got to have all the tricks.
While we were away, Randy, Simonson another strike. So front 4 for Anthony last 2 games. Duke 9 spare. Butcher a strike.
Boy.
Rash a strike. They can't set the speed. Wow. There goes the perfection.
Good shot.
Whoa. What happened there?
Sean Rash, how many board difference between the two patterns are you playing in the lanes right now?
Randy, I'm using a completely different bowling ball, strong asymmetric compared to urethane. I actually am probably playing the most similar between the two. One, because I have zero leverage with my legs because of my lower back. So I'm about 6 and 6 and 3 different, trying to roll it right now with this 46-foot pattern. When you look at the graph, it kind of gives you a spot to jam it against 12, 13. And I'm just trying to play the hold right now. And hopefully we get some breaks here. Simonson's bowling unbelievable right now. So yeah, just still got to be patient. A lot of bowling left.
All right, Sean, thanks. Appreciate the access with Sean during qualifying. It's awesome, Randy, live interviews. Yeah, fantastic. Back to Norm. 7-pin, not quite enough.
His carry has not been very good today. Remember that flying 7-pin he left, and then that ring and 10, and then that little shaker 7 there. Sean Rash working on a 3-bagger. There's a good kick on the 10. That was like a little Jackie Chan style, man.
Easy, easy. Don't hurt me, man. Talking about your biceps and your pecs earlier while you were working out. You look great, by the way.
Thank you. I feel great.
Good. Norm's got a spare. It's game 3 of qualifying. 4 games today for each of the bowlers in Group 1. Group 2 to follow. 4 more great PBA Tour stars. Live coverage here on CBS Sports Network. 3 shows tomorrow, including the championship. It did go. Just enough. 9 drops late for Jacob Buttriff.
He's not out of it by any means. I mean, he's 86 back of the leader, but if there's one thing we've learned the last couple of years about Jacob Buttriff is he can strike a lot.
Back to Norm left lane. Whoa.
That was the last thing I thought Norm would have done, was give too much pocket away. I don't know if he mishit it at the bottom of the swing or release point, but that's surprising.
Tough lead. Coming up. Simonson, no doubter.
Hard to do. No, I like that one. Just how do you get 6?
Said he liked that last shot, but the shot before it where he left the 6-count split was kind of mind-boggling to him. Youngest player to ever win not 1 but 2 majors, and this is the youngest player to ever win a PBA title right here at Norm Duke.
Tough conversion. Try to kick it across deck to the 10. Can't do that. So a loss in pin count for Norm here in game 3 of qualifying.
And again, folks, remember, this is just for seeding into the stepladder finals.
We'll see all 4 bowlers tomorrow. Stepladder finals, Group 1 and Group 2. All live coverage here on CBS Sports Network.
Great pin action there. Something that Norm Duke wishes he could get a little bit of. That there looked like Sean's bowling ball parted the Red Sea. You just see it just kind of split apart. That's some good pin carry.
What a start to this game for Jacob Buttriff. He is on a major roll in Jupiter, Florida. Game 3 is underway, qualifying PBA Tour Finals. Let's see how Buttriff does. Other side of the break. Before the break, front 6, Jacob Buttriff. During the break, another strike for Jacob. So he's got the front 7 in this 3rd game of qualifying on the new oil pattern. Looking good. Now, $10,000 bonus, Randy, for a perfect game in qualifying, but it's fun to watch. I like it. Hey, junior bowlers, head to PBA.com to sign up today for the first ever PBA Junior National Championship Tournament. Earn smart scholarships and become a PBA Youth Camp champ. PBA Junior, the first PBA club for bowlers 17 and younger. Check PBA.com for more.
Norm Duke's got some work to do. And that open frame in the 6th is pretty costly at this point with what Rash and Buttriff are doing. Norm needs to throw strikes from now until Monday. And there's a little late love tap on the 10.
Randy, I know you're excited about the PBA Junior National Championship, right?
I'm calling the action.
Excellent. So, yes.
So the answer to your question is absolutely.
Shimmy, shim, shim, baby.
Shimmy, shim, shim is what Simonson just said, and referring to maybe a little bit of hold down lane. Butcher perfect through 7.
Whoa. Hang on a minute.
Something got him.
Something distracted Jacob Buttriff on the way up to the foul line.
Wasn't me. Wasn't Dave.
Not this time.
Oh, man. That
7-pin.
That was a good one.
Really good shot. But cannot continue the perfection in this game.
Yeah, he liked this one, too. And you could see the 4 wrap around the 7. That was a good one.
Back to Sean Rash. And he leaves on 7 as well. So Sean, the leader after game 1. Time for game 2. Everyone looking up at Anthony Simonson entering this 3rd game. Spare for Buttriff. After the strike streak came to an end at the front 7.
Sorry, leaving you.
Yeah, he's left a few, missed one.
He's counting them. How many? How many 7-pins?
Yeah, 2 for 3. Whatever, I can't add.
Back to Simonson, left lane. All 10 back again. Locked in.
Full rack attack on that left lane for Simonson. And he's kind of in that same situation he was in game 2. He can strike out for 262 with an open frame in the middle of strings.
Late tap. Norm Duke gets some help across the deck.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming today.
Watch this slow rolling messenger. Oh, it's like they took one of Simonson's and then put in super slow-mo. And Norm says, hey, thank you very little.
Was that the Pony Express? Slow moving.
Rash
Come on, Sean.
imploding here late in game 3.
Not what he wanted to see.
Just when you think that they can't miss, you know, just one little mistake and it's possible open frame.
So 10 for Rash. What's that?
Same thing. Went light,
Oh, this thing's getting
went long and went
tight.
light. And then the only difference, the 7-pin isn't there.
Sean Rash gets it. What a conversion of the split on the left lane for Rash.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
Pretty good there. Game 1, I think he made a washout. Now he makes the 210. It's good stuff.
Spare for Jacob Buttriff. Picks up his double wood. And a spectacular moment for Rash trying to rebound after that great first game we told you about. 277. Everyone will advance to the stepladder Group 1 final tomorrow. Just depends on the seating. It's stepladder, so you got to climb it. Seeds 3 and 4 play each other to begin stepladder bowling tomorrow.
Norm just trying to find a way. He's probably going to be your 4 seed. He'll be in the opening match unless something crazy happens in game 4.
Maybe.
And Simonson,
You said there was some hold like 12, 13, right?
and Simonson continues to
I
apply
can't be
the
that far
pressure.
anyways.
Buttriff can shoot 267, Rash 257. But when you have Simonson, your leader, shooting 260s, it's going to be hard to catch.
It's right there. It's right there.
They're talking about the hold in the middle part of the lane.
No.
234 first game, 264 second game, and third game. He has continued to bowl well.
Was that better? Was that better? All right.
Looking pretty good from here. Simonson, a guy who looks like he could live in the middle of Alaska without anything, essential.
This guy's a Texan, though. Vegas.
Listen, it doesn't matter where he lives. I'm talking about what he looks like. Like this guy looks like he could skin a bear with his bare hands.
The beard is great, no question. Looking good.
Capture and skin a bear with his bare hands.
Here's Norm.
Ball change.
Wrapping up the third game. All 10 back for more pin count.
Wonder if he's going to stay with that. It's a good finish for Norm, 224, but he's just losing ground. Simonson's going to be in the 260s.
Wow.
Yeah, he's making him look stupid easy now.
.262 and a 760 total. 3 games for Simonson. Just 2 pins back from his great second game effort of 264. So he is in a groove.
Hey, Dave, I have some good news and some bad news
What's
for you.
the good news? I always want the good news first.
The good news is that Buttriff can shoot 267.
Mm-hmm.
The bad news is that Simonson shot 262 and was ahead by 86 going into this game. So the most pins Buttriff can pick up on Simonson is 5.
Anthony Simonson is able to run away and hide, which is not easy among these great
I'm
bowlers.
just happy I'm throwing a multicolored ball.
He's got a reason to smile. Now, Simon's a pretty mellow dude, but I've seen some energy and emotion today from him. Oh. 7-10 for Sean Rash.
240 for Sean.
Hard enough to make it.
He's going to be about 50 back of Simonson. I love what Jacob said. I love finally throwing multicolored bowling balls because he's always used to throwing the solid purple one. That's pretty cool. Fourth player to ever make it? No.
Not so for Sean Rash. But a 246 after his 194 second game. Man of the moment, without question, Anthony Simonson. A big lead through 3 games of qualifying here in Jupiter, Florida. 3 games complete, 1 to go. Qualifying here for Group 1 PBA Tour Finals. Anthony Simonson, wow, he's been fabulous. A 763 game total pinfall. Sean Rash, Buttriff, and Norm Duke round out the top 4 here, trying to get to the number 1 seed for stepladder finals here tomorrow in Group 1 and 2. One of the most respected voices in sports welcomes you to the jungle every weekday starting at noon Eastern. Join Jim Rome for his hot takes and off-the-wall calls weekdays on CBS Sports Network.
All right, let's take a look at Norm Duke and his highlight package. Duke, the 3rd winningest player in PBA history. 7-time a major champion. Made history last year by going back-to-back wins in events in Jonesboro and Indianapolis. The wee Iceman, Norm Duke.
Belmo 13, Earl Anthony 10, along with PDW, Mike Albee 8, Walter Ray 8 majors. Then there's Norm with 7 majors. What a career for Norm Duke. avoids a split early in his 4th game. Second on the longer oil pattern. All the bowlers will be back tomorrow here on CBS Sports Network. Live coverage continues of this event. This is about seeding for the stepladder group finals tomorrow.
All chasing that guy.
Wow. Completely locked in.
Duke looks frustrated, and he looks a little on the beaten side.
You think?
Yeah, I that's what I see. I mean, he's grinding so hard, and he just can't figure out a way to throw enough strikes.
Oh, how'd that look?
Crossing over, almost a Brooklyn strike there. 6-10 up for Sean Rash. Simonson averaging a 253 plus through the 3 games. That's just extraordinary on 2 different oil patterns here in Jupiter. All 10 back for Buttriff.
Not good. Sean Rash missing another spare. Chops the 6 right off the 10.
I didn't see that coming.
It's all working here for Simonson. Norbu. And in the pit.
You can see your 3-game totals there in yellow, just to the right of the players' names. Didn't like it. Got a huge break there. Could have been back-to-back open frames for Sean to start this 4th and final game.
Top 2 spots, of course, will wait in the stepladder finals. Top seed, only 1 match, but seeds 3 and 4 will play right away, Randy.
Yeah.
Winner take all, winner advances.
Yeah, and I mean, the only advantage of qualifying 3rd is that you get choice of starting lane and position, so that is a bit of an advantage, especially in a 1-game match. But right now, I mean, your sights have to be set on being that number 1 guy.
Right now, that's Anthony Simonson.
Rash 43 back. Buttriff 81 back. And Norm Duke 88 back. That's a tall hill to climb, and especially when you got a guy like Simonson who's locked in. He's not going to give you any room. Question is, I think, can Duke or Buttriff run down Rash? He's got the ailing back, and he's the one that I think if anybody gets run down, it's going to be him. I don't see anybody catching Simonson.
I can't either. It's very unlikely this time. I mean, the lanes are transitioning. It could change, but seems doubtful the way Simon's going, Randy.
I agree.
More coming up. PBA Tour Finals, CBS Sports Network. It's qualifying day here in Jupiter, Florida.
The 2020 PBA Tour Finals on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com.
While we were away, Norm Duke. 9 spare. Same for Simonson. Buttriff a strike. Rash struck as well. PBA Tour Finals. Here in Jupiter, Florida. Live coverage on CBS Sports Network. Dave Ryan alongside my Hall of Fame broadcast partner, Randy Peterson. This is the 4th of 4 games of qualifying for Group 1. 672 for Duke in 3 games. This is 4th and final. game here.
What did he say? It sounded like he was speaking in a foreign language. That's impressive, Norm. Maybe a reference to a Justin Bieber song?
I think it was a Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Everyone looking up at this guy, Anthony Simonson. Wow. Those pins have no chance against Simonson today. He has just been brilliant.
You know what else has no chance? Me going to a Justin Bieber concert with Norm Duke.
I'm going to put that in a very low percentage number once concerts are back. Can't wait for the return of those.
Look at that. Look at that break. That's pretty big.
Jacob Buttriff recovering from a pretty interesting medical issue. Bitten by a spider recently. Couldn't bend his left wrist. He's a lefty. Just a couple of weeks ago. And then had a very bad allergic reaction to the medication he was given. Sean Rash finishing up here in his fourth game. Pretty scary for Jacob, wasn't it?
Yeah, they thought it may have been a brown recluse that bit him. And like he basically turned red all over his body, had a bad reaction to the medication they were giving him. So yeah, it was a little testy.
He's got the right meds. He's good now. That's great news. Back to Normie.
Is he using two different balls?
What?
It's hard for me to see from here.
Is that legal?
I think he's using a different ball on the right lane than he is on the left lane.
And 7 pins separating Buttriff and Duke, entering the fourth and final game of qualifying here. No worries for this guy.
No slowing down for Simonson, who is starting to look more and more like he'll be your leader. Rash right now can strike out for 269. Simonson can shoot 279. Yeah. And how about watching Jacob Buttriff hook the entire lane with a reactive resin ball? That's kind of fun to watch.
He's awesome.
Yeah. When it's close between the 2, 3, and 4 seed, it's boring. When it's close between the top seed and the other guys, then it's fun.
Basically, it's a bummer Simonson has been so good. Got this huge lead and everybody else.
Well, it was game 2 that really cost him.
Yeah. 194 in the second game after a 277 opener for Rash. Duke 221. 227, 224. Been very consistent.
Take it.
It's a great shot by Normie. He's giving it the Monica Seles, if you will, at the foul line. He's really trying to get after it. You can hear a little grunting coming from Norm. And definitely confirmed using 2 different bowling balls. Pretty impressive 23-year-old right there, folks.
7 titles, 2 majors for Simonson. Top 5 in points. This abbreviated season so far.
These two are just putting out a strike fest.
It's fun to watch. Incredible bowling. Back to Sean Rash.
Oh, hit a tree. Okay.
They'll take it. Just fine. Don't worry about it.
Hit a tree. I love it. Sound like my golf swing.
Shake that ball like
Oh, God. Hit something.
Please. Get a house. I played golf with you before, Porter. I know how good you are.
Yeah, you have to wear a hard hat.
He's kidding, folks. Very sarcastic.
This guy's not kidding.
No kidding around for Simonson today. Man, oh man, has he been locked in.
So I'm going to ask our statistician if he can give me an update. Is it a shutout yet? I mean, can Rash still get him?
I'll turn back for Norm.
It's done, right? Simonson's going to be the number 1 seed.
234, 264, 262 heading into this fourth game. Had a huge lead entering the fourth and final game of qualifying.
Yeah, he's been striking a lot. So he's got 2, 7. I don't know how many in a row he's thrown, but
Can I have 2 frames back?
Sean is definitely locked in too. Latter stage of this fourth game.
Go.
7 for Butcher from this game. 4 straight for Simonson in this game. It's like the PBA Strike Derby all over again, Randy. Except they're not going that fast for as many as you can get in 120 seconds.
I mean, this is a strike fest. So max scores, you got Simon with 279. Duke can shoot 72. Duke can shoot 269. Rash can shoot 269. And Buttriff can shoot 300. Jeez. Wow.
It's a clinic here.
I think it's like something like 18 in a row.
It's amazing to watch this. And keep in mind, we had a rail pattern change after the second game of qualifying. It just, talk about amazing update with what's happening here. We're working out the numbers. It's a lot of strikes in a row.
25 in a row is the final count that I got. That's 26 in a row.
Come on.
26 strikes in a row between these 4 players.
9 straight for Butcher.
Remember,
Wow.
they changed patterns. It's a 46-foot long pattern.
I mean,
Hit a tree. Hit a tree.
No.
All right.
The slow messenger didn't quite get to the 10 pin. There goes the strike streak. But
Yeah, but now he's
that
looking,
was fun to watch.
now he's looking back and doing the math of seeing if Buttriff can go around him, and indeed he can. Sean Rash now 70. I'm trying to do the math on the scoreboard. I've got 4 of them to do. So 248 max for Rash. Buttriff can shoot 300. Buttriff trailing Rash by 38. My math says, yeah, he can go around him.
The numbers heading into this fourth and final game of qualifying on the scoreboard here in Jupiter. It's a 5-bagger for Simonson into the 10th frame. Here's Duke. Another one. Simonson trying to pile up these pins. And the 4-pin stand's a rarity for Anthony today. Not to strike.
Simonson's going to be in the 260s for the 3rd consecutive game.
Norm's trying for 7 straight strikes in his 4th game of qualifying.
Pardon me, 250, not 260.
He'll get that with a tap on the 4.
Ninth frame for Simonson. Right there, folks. Should say 238.
Yeah.
His best score yet. 268. Great bowling for Norm Duke, 269. It's his best game of the 4 so far. And Rash deals with the 4-pin.
You gotta be kidding me.
Buttriff going at a possible 300. He's going to go around Sean Rash.
Huge numbers in this 4th game.
Hey, just to go back, Simonson's score is correct. It was 260 like I originally said. So my apologies for that. It's a lot to keep track of, you know?
A lot of strikes, a lot of pins, Randy.
I mean, our statistician Cecil over here is running around like crazy, just trying to get his numbers. All right, now I think that put him ahead of Sean Rash. And one more for a perfect 300 game.
Wow, what a day for Buttriff here, who's just been incredible in this 4th game. No $10,000 bonus, but it's tremendous to watch.
All right, kid, one good one here.
It would be the 28th all-time 300 game on TV for Jacob Buttriff in qualifying in the PBA Tour Finals. Going for perfection here for Buttriff.
Get it.
Yes, he does. A 300 game for Jacob Buttriff. Perfection. And Jupiter for the lefty today. And a little air hug to celebrate.
Reactive ball.
Good stuff. With the reactive resin, nonetheless. I mean, great stuff here. Take a look at this last shot for Jacob Buttriff. Nice pin action with that high rev rate. That ball hooking so hard the back part of the lane. Good stuff.
As great as Simonson has been, that was a major highlight. Day 1 of qualifying year at the PBA Tour Finals. Perfect game for Jacob Buttriff, our Super Southpaw. So, as we see today, we're leading up to this in match 1. Rash, Duke will battle it out stepladder for Group 1. And then Buttriff takes on the winner of that first match. Simonson is the top seed with more than 1,000 pins in 4 games, 1028 to be exact, to be the top seed in Group 1. Group 2, qualifying still to follow here. Randy, this is fun to watch and capped off by Jacob's 300. That was awesome.
Yeah, what a way to end this first group semifinals, man. Simonson averaging well over 250. That man right there with perfection. We had about 27 strikes thrown in a row by our 4 players. Great action to end Group 1's action.